So this is a bee that specializes on hibiscus. It can eat other stuff, but hibiscus is really the stuff. It was in, I found this bee in almost every single flower that I looked at. You'd find one or two of these bees in there. Wolsey was covered in these bees when the hibiscus was in bloom. And I don't know if you can see it there, but they're ground nesting bees. I was lucky enough at Wolsey to catch sight of that one poking her head out. This is another part of being able to provide all of the habitat that an organism needs, that wildlife needs in order to keep it happy. They need a little spot of bare soil that they can get, an unvegetated soil, and they'll crawl into the ground, dig a hole, and then she'll go and collect nectar and pollen from these hibiscus flowers and lay her eggs on it. So,
would the hibiscus bee also perhaps be drawn toward Althea, which looks a lot like this?
Does it? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, they're in the Althea family, aren't they? Hibiscus and hollyhocks.
Althea.
Oh, is that hollyhocks?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe.
But Althea, I think, is the technical name for hibiscus, isn't it?
Is it?
Maybe so. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but yeah, if you have some, then keep a lookout for these guys on there. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, they look like bumblebees with really long legs. So. In July, we had some bergamot pop up at World Peace, and this is Monarda. A lot of people grow this, and it's a very popular nectarine plant for all kinds of bees, including, you see a little Pennsylvanicus back there. It's a fuzzy picture, but I put it in anyway. And then sunflowers. They started up in July, and then they kept going through September. So this is one of those plants that are very easy to grow. They're not so easy for me to identify, because, especially from photographs, there's a lot of hybridizing going on. So I just grouped these all together for you guys as sunflowers. But there are great places for butterflies and bees. This is I think, a very cute spider that has these like jeweled little fangs there. So a lot of times spiders will hide in flowers waiting for pollinating insects to come, and then they'll eat them. This is up at World Peace, where the Pennsylvanicus, you can see, is also very much enjoying the sunflowers up there. And then also in the same time period, we had thistles. These are most likely not native thistles, but again, difficult to ID from photographs. Lake Fayetteville, this is one of the only things in bloom in that big heat of the summer. On little margin areas, we still have some bull thistle going on there, but you can see that it's just covered in butterflies, and as well as all kinds of bees. And horse nettle. This is one that a lot of people think of as being a weed, and they try and get rid of, but it's native, and it's also a very interesting type of plant. So it grows in clumps, and Lake Fayetteville had a bunch of them. And if you take a look at this flower really quick, it looks a little bit like a tomato flower, if you've seen those. And it has very unusual kinds of anthers, where the pollen is on a flower. You've got these things here, they're yellow, not because they're coated in pollen, but that's just the color that they are, because it's attractive to bees. And these little kind of darker spots there, these are pores. So these anthers act more like tubes, and deep inside that tube, the pollen is all kind of collected in there, and it's got to come out of that tiny little pore. This green part is the stigma, and that's the female parts on a flower. So in order for pollination to happen, pollen has to come out of this tube here on one flower and be carried over to the stigma on another flower somewhere. It's rather specialized. And I was lucky at Lake Fayetteville to actually catch a bumblebee in the act of buzz pollinating, which is so cool.